Hey everybody, my name is Ethen Ostroff and I am a injury lawyer in the Philadelphia area. I own my own law firm, Ethen Ostroff Law, and I want to make sure that your future injury case is protected. Today we are talking about the personal injury lawsuit process. Before I get all the way to the lawsuit, I'm going to talk to you about pre-litigation. Litigation is just a fancy lawyer word for suing. And pre-litigation is what happens before that. So before I get there, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along, where I will make sure that you are not behind the eight ball in your future injury case. So, lawsuit process 101. You sign up with a lawyer today. The first thing you're going to go through is something called an intake. An intake is where they vet whether they can help you and represent you. If they can, they'll sign you to something called a contingency fee. Now, I know I'm moving fast. I'm going to move fast through this because there's a lot of steps. After you sign the contingency fee, that opens up a matter in their system. Now, the beginning part of your case, while you are still treating, you will be in the treatment phase. That is pre-demand, and it is just waiting for you to feel better. Now, the reason why they don't ask for money right when you sign up for them is because they wouldn't even know how much money to ask for. Think about it. If you got hurt today and your injuries take 6 months to develop, if they asked for money today, they wouldn't know all the things you've been through. So it's reasonable that your case will kind of sit in this treating phase for some period of time. Once you have called your lawyer and said, or your lawyer calls you, as they should, and you say, I'm done treating, it's now time for me to move on to the next phase, they will move your case into something called the demand stage. Demand stage. The demand stage is where your case is put into a set of steps: retrieving your medical records, making sure you have the police report, making sure that all your providers that you treated with are on notice that your case may settle, and getting those numbers that they want to bill you for. They then call the insurance company and either written or verbally ask for a amount of money on your behalf. Typically, you send medical records and things like that with that demand. If you ask for money on your behalf and the case does settle, it's over right there. If it doesn't, then you sue. If you have to sue, then you file a complaint in the local county court where they want to file your case, and it's dependent on either where the defendant lives, the person that put you in through harm, or where the business or the transaction occurred. So for example, if you fell out of business, it's that county. If you got rear-ended in the other side of Pennsylvania, then you could theoretically file where that crash happened. It's either where the crash or incident occurred or where the defendant is from. And you sue, and then you're asking the court for a jury trial to determine what the best result is for your situation. That process starts with something called pleadings, where you are pleading specific things that happened to you and why the other person's at fault. Then you go back and forth, admitting and denying things. Next is something called discovery, where you will discover the evidence relevant to your case and they get the opportunity to discover the evidence relevant to their case. Next is a process of experts, where the experts who say that you were hurt the way you say that you were hurt, they will testify on your behalf or write a report that says your injuries are related to your incident. Then there might be something like a liability expert. Let's say that you got hit while walking a crosswalk and they're blaming you for walking a little outside of the crosswalk. A liability expert may testify to make sure that your liability, which is who is at fault portion of your case, is clear. Last, jury trial. Just like the movies, you take the case to a jury and they determine whether the facts are in your favor and how much you should be paid. That's it. That's the whole lawsuit process. I just covered it in 4.5 minutes. Thanks so much for joining today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow along where I, Ethen Ostroff, will make sure your future injury case is protected. Thank you.